Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are in the world today, I hope that you are doing okay. Hope all is pleasant for you. And most importantly, my friends, hope that you are in good health. Once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. On this channel, we get to talk about those things that people know, that people have thought about, but don't often have the time to discuss. These, my friends, are the things we discuss here on the Common Sense channel. So once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. Today I want to talk about African Union. It's called AU. Because for some reason, everyone in the world, especially those Western countries, that are paying attention to a system that was set up to bring about unity and global peace, stability and tranquility to the world that they envision. They are slowly looking at this vision that they've put together, that they engineer, fall apart in the world of instability, in the world of disorder, in the world of whatever I can do, no one can stop me. They're looking at this stuff. They know. When I say they, I'm talking about Western countries. They know that the world is chaotic, the ones that they created, the ones that they fashioned in the form of United Nations in 1948. And if we can go back, we're still going to focus on AU, African Union, because a lot of people don't know what it used to be called other names, but today it's called AU. And this is the main essence of this video. They had a meeting recently, and I'm going to talk a little bit about where we are in terms of global peace, in terms of where all of this is going. And then I'm going to give like a little historical background. So these European countries are looking at this. This would be, whenever during World War II, aka European Civil War, there were victors, Normally history itself are told or is told by only those who win. Like if you win, say you're fighting against me and you won and I lose, you get to decide what the history will be concerning our battles. Whatever I say will not matter because I lose. You understand? So that's what happened in World War II, aka European Civil War. Because it was a civil war. It wasn't no World War II. It was a civil war. They don't tell you that. But I tell you that because I read over and over and I've seen. And then this became clear to me that it was all a civil war. There were just people that got involved into it, especially Africa. And it still is today. They're just like the stud. Africa is a stud. And until they understand these historical facts, they're still going to be begging all the time. And we're going to talk about that. So before, I think I've done a video on this, before the UN, United Nations, so-called United Nations, they had something called the League of Nations. The League of Nations was weak. And those elements out, including America, America helped. I think America actually brought out the idea, just like they did for United Nations, but they didn't sign up on most of the chapters. The chapters that would help solidify security and most of the things that made the United Nations even powerful, they didn't sign up to. I don't want to go there, but it's deep. That they didn't sign up to. There are certain things that they're not signatory to, but yet they're a member of the United Nations. So America's always been crafty, in terms of the limit. They're smart people, I'm not going to lie. They did the same thing with the League of Nations. Woodrow Wilson suggested the idea, but guess what? Woodrow Wilson was not a member of it. You see? So because of that, it failed miserably. So it's the same thing, and then there are other characters out there that saw the weaknesses in global affairs, geopolitical affairs, or global affairs, right? You're always going to have factors in there, elements in that in our world that will see cracks because they've had interaction with them. They see that, oh, these are the weakness, and they'll try to find a way. America knows all the weakness of the UN. They know because they helped craft this thing. You understand? In San Francisco. So they know. And that's why they keep using all of those loopholes to do what they want. You know, it depends on the administration. Now, I'm not going to say they, because we have an administration that will come on, just focus on global peace, unity, understanding. And I long for that day where we can have an administration that will come in and try to make the world, try to bring everybody together, which is the role of America, to bring, America's always brought people together, even with the League of Nations. It was America's idea to bring the world together for global peace. United Nations, it was the Franklin D. Roosevelt's wife. I think Helena Roosevelt was the key factor in crafting what we know today as the United Nations. But sad to say, when the United Nations was founded, it was founded by victors, those who won during the World War II, aka European Civil War. Because I see why sometimes they say it was World War II. Japan was also fighting, but Japan had been fighting for spreading of the empire since 1948. Since 1945, Japan was started this thing during the League of Nations. You understand? Italy started this thing before the League of Nations. So you understand? So it's hard for them to say it was World War II. But I can say when historians say the Great War, I can understand that. That make more sense. The Great War than you say World War I, World War II. No, it's just a couple of countries. Sorry, I'm still recovering my voice. So it was just those European countries. Europe has always fought themselves. Yeah, terrible, terrible. It's when Europe fight, it's not nice. I'll say it again. European has always fought themselves. The only people, the only continent that haven't fought themselves yet, South America, Africa. You've never seen African countries to country fight each other. That's never happened. But only the Europeans. The European has always fight themselves. So that's the reason why I said, and always say, that it was European Civil War, because they always been the one to fight themselves. Even in Southeast Asia, they haven't fought themselves yet. Oh, yeah, they did, but it wasn't at the global state or the region or a regional stage, or in the zone. There's always been someone attacking another one to get something, as in the case of Japan. Japan fought this other one, but Vietnam never did that. Laos never did that. Thailand never did it. It was only one country in the empire trying to get resource. That was the reason why they're doing all that stuff. But yet, the reason why I'm saying this to say to Africa, because Africa is the only one that hasn't grasped what's happening in the world yet. Even if maybe they do, but they're playing politics as usual, as they've always done, because most of them, not Africans now, the politicians, the elite, they're puppet. You understand? So they'll come on the global stage and make noise. So we're going to talk about them. But let's give a historical background. So when World War II was after World War II, 1945, the League of Nations was gone. It was still, because prior to 1945, 46, 47, 48, it's still the League of Nations. You understand? So a League of Nations, even though it was dead, but there's still remnant of it. So when these 5 countries who became the victor, they were the ones that won that war. That would be, I don't want to start with England. So I'm going to say Russia, the United States, China, France, and England. Those 5 countries, they were the ones that were instrumental in ending that war against a man called Hitler. And all Hitler was doing, he was fighting for Germany. That's all, just like what Mr. Trump is doing now. And that's why we need to pay attention to this, what Trump is doing, because this stuff can easily lead to World War something. Because Hitler was doing the same thing too. If you listen to Hitler's speech in 1921 and 22, you will hear the same thing that America is making, this administration is making. It's the same thing. Hitler was trying to be left alone. That's what he was doing. But for a long time, I've been a person that's been fascinated about Hitler, just like the history of China is with Hitler. I've been fascinated with him because I wanted to know his thinking, not like all the rumbling he does when he's talking and raising it with the force and stuff like that. I think that's just how he talks. But I've always been fascinated with him. From the moment I got introduced to this man, like what was he doing? Why was it about Germany, Germany, Germany? Why was he so straight with perfection? You have to be perfect. It has to be unique. It has to be great. It has to be excellent. So I wanted to know the thinking of this man until someone translated all of his speech. And then I start to listen to them. And then when you do, if you don't believe me, listen to Hitler's speech in 1921 and 22. You see what he's saying in there. And how he was able to turn a country that everyone thought was down. He was able to turn it around and make it financially great. Ask the German people there, all the Germans that still remember him, what he done. They may not say it. I can understand, because there are these forces out here that don't want you to say the truth. But the truth is the truth. You can't do nothing about it. They hide this man's speech for decades. Why? Because he didn't win. Japan, why is Japan not a member of the Security Council, even though it's a powerful country in terms of technology, in terms of human technology and resource? Japan is powerful. And yet, Japan is not part of the Security Council. Why is that? Because Japan lost during World War II. All those countries that didn't win, they're nothing. That, my friend, including Africa. When the United Nations was founded, most of Africa, my friends, was still colonized by the very people, Europeans, that have founded this so-called United Nations. You understand? That's why we want Africa to be one. So when Africa is represented, it's not represented to the United Nations as 54 countries or 52 countries, whatever you want to call them. I don't see it that way. That they are represented as Africa. Because that's the argument. We are 52 countries, and yet we don't have no seat in the Security Council. You got people like Ruto with his big lips, big mouth, talking. These 5 members, right, excluding China and Russia, when they look at it, they agree. Russia agree. Russia don't have no beef with Africa. In fact, Russia has been instrumental in the history of Africa. This is not for this video now, but Russia has always been instrumental. I think it's just the nature of Russia in the history of Africa. They've always been interested in there. in the development of the African people and African nation. And that's true. It's the truth. Whatever I say here is the truth. So if you're out there, some of you, including YouTube too, they like to correct people. Don't put no notification on my video because I know what I'm talking. If you know this stuff, YouTube, why don't you do it? Why don't you be the ones to educate the world about what you know about peoples and the culture and what they think? When I come on my channel, YouTube, when I talk about things, this is for this video too. Don't comment on my video. Don't put notification. I don't need to learn anything from you, YouTube. I just need the platform. And that's what you say in your policies. This platform for discussion. I'm going to say the truth here and nothing but the truth. Because I've gone through every stuff that's out there. And I've been able to filter out the truth. So I found it. Yes, I searched for it and I found it. And that's what I talk about here. So Africa needs to be represented in this, what I think should be dissolved. United Nations should be dissolved, just like the League of Nations should be gone away. And the reason is if it's not willing to reform, even Trump agrees with me, if it's not willing to reform to match the reality of our world, it needs to be reformed. And there's no time to play or time to Africans are imagine Africa is the only one that's represented in terms of United Nations in that whole formation right there. Imagine 52 states or 54, whatever they want to say, in this one body. That's the whole damn continent. There's no other country in the world that comes to the United Nations that many as Africa. And yet they are not represented there. But the reason is simple. They don't know the reason why they're not represented. Africa, this is the reason why you're not represented in the United Nations. Because you didn't win nothing. That's what they say. They're not willing to tell you. So Africa, there are a couple of things that you need to do. Although you want to be represented, it's a big thing to have a voice in the security of this world. To have a voice when they're ready to start their war, or they're ready to conquer somewhere, conquest. If they're ready to start the conquest, if they're ready to go somewhere and take whatever they want, they don't need your voice. They don't need your saying. At least you need to be there. So that way you know if they want your resource, because it's all about if they want a resource. Like right now, everything is going on. Should this world break into another war, right? Well, they're going to need resource. Where do you think they're going to take it? What do you think will stop them from taking whatever you have in Africa? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Trump already said it. They can do whatever they want to do. His administration, not the American people. So for you who are watching globally, you need to know that, look, whatever America is doing is not the government. It's not the government. The American people don't bother no one. The American people stay out of people's stuff. They're busy, concerned about making this country great and everyone to benefit. But I can understand why you think so, because whatever their government, the administration is doing, it's going to have one way or the other going to have some impact, effect on the people. But 99% of the time, the people are not involved. There are just few people that are at the top that are running the show. You understand? So if you're out there, stop blaming the American people. You understand? If I was in Africa too, say Africa was as powerful as America, and Africa was doing this stuff to other continent, other people, if I was alive, if I'm alive, I would say the same thing too. That no, it's not Africans. It's the government of Africa. You understand? That's why they don't want Africa to unite. But I'm not going to keep blaming them, the Europeans or whoever is out there trying to make sure that Africa is not united. The Africans are themselves responsible for not uniting. And we're going to talk about that. So, the League of Nations was weak. United Nations is weak. So, like they say, those who do not learn from their history are doomed. Are doomed. The key and honor phrase word here is doom. They are doomed to repeat them. So just like the League of Nations was weak, feckless, no backbone, no authority, could not safeguard anything, or talk blah, 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 blah all day. It's the same thing we're saying with the United Nations. They go after weak countries. They only flex their muzzle. United Nations, if you watch them, they only flex their muzzles on weak country. They dare mess with any of those 5 countries. Why? Because those 5 countries are the main tentacles of the United Nations. Say, for instance, if Russia and China disagree, you see those 3, America, England, and France, they agree. So at the end of the day, Russia, China, in as much as they're powerful, they get to do what they want to do. The only way, and I think it's starting to happen, only way America is not going to have that much leverage in terms of how global security is run. Yeah, let's say global affairs. It's when France and England can, for once, say a no to America. But that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Because those 2 countries, France and Britain, their history is seeped in the foundation of America. So it's not like they know America yesterday. No, France knew America from way before America was America. England knew America from way before America is America. Most of these people, it's just like your brother, you and your brother, you're living in the same town. And all of a sudden, your brother, 2 of your brothers, or your brother wakes up one morning, or your sister wakes up on one morning and says to you that, brother, I want to go to this other land and see what I can do. Because life is not too good for me here. I'm not living in peace. I'm not able to do what I want to do in terms of my livelihood. So I want to go strive. I want to go somewhere and see if I can try to make life there. You understand? On the Common Sense channel, I don't like to make things complicated. I make them simple so you can understand. So France and Great Britain, they're never going to turn their backs on America because they are America and America is them. Understand? So until United Nations is reformed or adjusted, which I think is not going to happen, Africa are going to be begging. They're going to be appealing. They're going to be crying until eternity. All those rascals you see over there, let me talk about them, standing on the stage, yapping, they're going to pass. And Africa is still going to be begging. It's going to take a new generation of people to come and say, you know what? We are 52 or 54 countries. So we need to walk away from this body. If we're that important, they'll come looking for us. But to do that, you must unite. When we talk of unity in Africa, when I talk of unity in Africa, because I know what Africa's problem is. I was born on the continent. My spirit is on the continent. Wherever you're born, your spirit lives in that place. Your spirit takes on the formation of that place. If you don't know, That's why you can never take, I can have children, I have children in this country, but they will never love Africa the way I do. Why is that? It's because they were born here. Whatever you're born, your spirit takes on that place. Your spirit actually is actually in that country. You can go anywhere in this world. That country will never be removed from your soul. It's in you. It's you. The country is you, and you are them. And that's why anyone's born in a country, you should not hate your country. That's why when we look at these African leaders, we look at them that way, that they don't love Africa. They don't care about the development of Africa. So anyone on the continent, start looking at these leaders as serious people. You understand? I saw, what was this name? There's this one president I saw. Ramaphosa, he's ridiculous. Yeah, and if you watch my video, Ramaphosa, I think you're ridiculous. You know, if you're gonna talk about Trump, you're a man too, just like Mr. Trump. If you're gonna talk to Trump, don't be diplomatic. Let me tell you, Ramaphosa, our world is not diplomatic. Diplomacy is out of the picture. Didn't you know? Since the war in Ukraine, or prior to the war of Ukraine, let's say 15 years ago, or let's say since the 9/11, let's say since 9/11, our world is no longer diplomatic. When you see those people flying here and they're going to talk peace talk, those are all waste of time. There's no such things as diplomatic. That's why when you watch Julius Malema, when he goes out there, he talks like that. That's how new the new world order is gonna be. Whatever is on your chest, you're a free human being. You were born free. Say it out. It's something called freedom of speech. There's something also called global freedom of speech too. You should be able to say what you think wherever you are in this world. You're a born free man. Your rights was not given to you by no freaking human being. It was given to you by the Almighty. From the moment you came on this planet, you arrived here, and your mom and dad look at you and say, welcome. They're happy. That is the moment, my friend. You became a free thinker. You became a free man. You became a human being, a citizen of this world. So when you're talking to any human being, don't matter who they are, they can have lion face, tiger face, crocodile's face, whatever face they have, speak to them as a man. So that's for you, Ramaphosa. You understand? If you're going to talk to Trump, direct your statement to Trump. When Trump is talking to someone, you see how he does it. Look, one thing, you may not like Trump, you know, but I watch him from the outside, and I like that. A man is supposed to talk like that. It's how old people talk. If old people got issue with you, real men, I don't want to say just old people, but it's indicative with older people. They speak their mind because they don't have anything to be afraid. They're not afraid of you. And Ramaphosa, you're not a kid. If you're going to talk to Trump, Trump runs this world now. This is Trump's world. All of y'all out there needs to get it. He's running this thing for 4 years. It's his world. It's his zone. When the Russian president comes out, it's his world. It's his zone. He speaks like that because he speaks with power. When the Chinese president comes out, it's his world. It's his zone. He speaks out with power. But when you see these African leaders come out, they are dancing all over the stage. Let me tell you, Ramaphosa, all of you that sat in Ethiopia with your big fat butt, the world is not polite anymore. Let me tell you, there are 3 things. Our world is not polite. It's not run by people who give a crap about your kindness, your your diplomacy, your intelligence, the way you talk. They don't care about that stuff. It's not orderly. Our world is not orderly, it's dysfunctional, it's disorderly. And my friend, there's no such thing as diplomacy. So when you come on this stage, and plus you're in the hall of African Union, AU, in Addis Ababa. It's an independent country. Do you think if the people of Ethiopia were weak-minded people, do you think Italy would have done what it did? No one were able to conquer Ethiopia. Ethiopia came back and fought and won. They're not like you sit there and say, okay, well, they've defeated us, we're done. They came back. Haile Selassie came back. When when the Italian came, they drove him away, but he went back and mobilized and came back with a fight. That's what you do. Now you don't have to do it with guns, but you have to use intelligence. Some of you are so emotional. I see them talk so emotional. Please, master, we want to be treated equally. Our resources cannot be taken. And just like that, sold on the market, on the values. You guys need to treat us, as equal. Crap. No powerful countries gonna hear you talk like that. It's all business. And business is not pleasure. Business is business. So in order for you to protect your natural resources, you have to do key things. In order for you to protect your integrity, you have to respect yourself. And you have to set boundaries. Me personally, I set boundaries in my life every day. It's called self-respect, self-integrity. None of you leaders sitting in there have self-integrity and self-respect. So when Trump is talking to any of you, and I love the style too, you can go into a meeting, Cyril Ramaphosa, you're talking to Trump, but you're not direct. If you ever go to a meeting with Trump again, maybe he can call you anytime, say, show up here. You'll be running. If Trump should go up to a meeting with you, or in a meeting with you, he's never going to forget you trying to diss him. The sooner you comes out of that meeting with Trump, he'll talk about everything you done in that meeting. So don't be pretending to the world. And a couple of them they were talking to. Not just Cyril Ramaphosa, there are a couple of them. It's time that Africa stand up stronger and proclaim one thing, unity. All of that nonsense meeting you go doing Addis Ababa, setting all of these goals, none of them you're going to accomplish anyway. It's a waste of time. And you know it. It's all politics. You come, you talk big in front of Africans. They buy, they suck into some of the things you say. Most of the developments that are happening in Africa, it's not even owned by the Africans anyway. It's owned by international businesses that are investing in Africa. And it's for them, it's not for you. It's all investment. Africans can invest, African government can invest in Africa in terms of logistics, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of roads, in terms of technology, in terms of medical or medicines. They can invest in Africa. They have the money. They have to, even if they don't have the money, they have the means. If they don't have the money, create your own currencies that has values. So that way people can value them and invest, and you can be able to invest in your own country like China did. China currency is so powerful that they can use that currency to invest in the country. And that's what they've been doing. Africa, when you go to this so-called damn stupid meeting, you're not smart. You're not smart. There are a lot of things I know to help you, but I can't say it on here because I don't want to say that. I don't want to disclose or dislodge that here. Because I know this, all the enemy is always watching. Do you think I know? I don't think that some of the people that is attached to my 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 platform are not people that, you know, wishing my channel good. Do you think I don't know? But I just look at them. But I can have the ancestors filter them out. They can go one after the other. Because I know that. Because I see what they're doing on my channel. So Africa, here's the thing. There are a lot of things you need to do. And the most important of all, not that all that talking, Trump is not even going to listen to that stuff. Trump runs on policies, foreign policies, and that's it. It's not going to change. As long as that policy is yelling, getting what he wants, that's it. He don't care about all of that stuff you're talking. If you're selling something to him, he wants it. You have to, either one way, you want his goodies, right? So you have to find a way to negotiate. It's business. And that's what you do. You go and make out these business deals out there, and then for some reason, if the people are not feeling what you've done, you sold the country, and then you turn around and blame the white man for your own business dealing. And I think it's wrong. And that's what we do. We'll call you out. I'm calling you out right now because I know you're a hypocrite. That's what you're doing. If you're going to go out there, let the African people know what you're doing. But the best way, and I think the first thing that you should be talking about whenever you meet in Addis Ababa, is to talk about Africa unity. And here's what I think. And I think I've said in a video that I did recently. In order for Africa to unite, you must first unite within your country, which I think is impossible. We're going to wait for eternity. That's not going to happen. So say, for instance, Ethiopia is proud itself to be independent, fighting people, which is true, can take that. Self-mind, self-discipline, and all that. If Ethiopia can unite within Ethiopia, Ethiopia to Ethiopians unite. Kenyans to Kenyans unite. Nigerians to Nigerians unite. Sierra Leoneans to Sierra Leoneans unite. Within their country, their respective countries. Let them use that, try that as a pilot program to begin with before you can start to talk about uniting with Kenyan. If you're Nigerians, talking to Kenyans to unite. Because once you get the people in your respective country unite under one goal, which must always be, which again must always be the center of Africa unity. If you can get all those people in your country, all the tribes, because Africa's biggest problem is tribal war, can't solve the problem. Tribal war can't solve it at all. Believe me when I say tribal war can't solve the problem. Tribal war can't solve it at all. Believe me when I say, this is the great one, Joe Hees, the greatest. Jamaica has always produced great musicians, but Joe Hees is one of them. He's one of the greatest. He says that. Africa problem, it's tribal. Solve that within the continent, within each of your country. And let me tell you, one thing I think the greatest hope for Africa right now is the Sahel. And how to do it, I think it's the blueprint. And this is what I'm telling you right now. Unite the people. And that's what Niger's doing, uniting the people. Look, once the people of Niger are united towards one goal, which is to make the country better for all of them, and they support that government, they say, oh, supporting the government, but it takes unity to do that. No outside forces, this is true now, no outside forces can penetrate. You can't. You understand? And that's one thing Vietnam did. Vietnam. That's one thing they did in order to defeat The great United States, because America didn't win in Vietnam. It was terrible, just like Afghanistan. In order for you to win anything, you have to unite internally. America don't want to hear, but it's the truth. Here on the Common Sense channel, we say the truth. The truth, you can't hide from the truth. Like, people can see it. But there are a lot of people afraid to say it because they think they're going to come after. The only thing they can do is take your life. But me, I'm an African. I know what to do. When someone messes with my life, you will not rest. The Africans, we know what to do. Gaddafi didn't know what to do because he's Arab. You come to West Africa, we know what to do. We know what to do, that our soul will not rest until justice is done. We know what to do. I grew up in traditional Africa. I've seen things that no Europeans will ever see. In my brief life on this planet, I know what Africa, especially West Africa, is capable of doing. And that's what they need to do. You take out any African leaders in Africa, they need to do that stuff and prepare that person really good to come after all those people. Don't wait for Judgment Day. There's no such thing as Judgment Day. There's no such thing as heaven. There's no such thing as hell. You will be judged on this planet. All those evildoers will be judged. They will see their judgment. The Epstein files. Epstein done this thing for decades. But the judgment of every human being, each of us, will be done on this earth. Even if we're gone, we will find the judgment here. We will be judged before we leave. And that's what happened to him. He was arrested, he was put in jail, and then mysteriously he died. You understand? Our judgment, we will see them before we leave. There's no judgment somewhere. There's no God is going to sit on no great throne and judge you. The God of this world, and will be the God of till eternity, is humans. Humans are the God. So humans will be the one to judge you. You understand? Right now, the judge and executioner of this world are Mr. Trump, Xi Jinping, and Putin. You understand? These are the gods of this world. They are the judge and executioner. If you've done something to them, they feel it's not just, they're coming after you. They don't have to feel it's just. They're coming after you because they have the power and the might. That's why they don't mess with each other. Power knows power. In traditional Africa, when power meets power, they know. They don't mess with them. They'll go come back the next time. If they try to mess with you, they see you're powerful, they'll go come back. They're not. My grandmother used to tell me, sometimes when people come to mess with her, she knows. She'd be like, I know what you're doing. Get the hell out of here. I seen her, heard her. This is not lie. I'm telling you. I wish I had taken that stuff, more of it, to understand the intricacy. But had I gone closer, because I know what she was doing. You understand? So yes, power knows power. When power meets power, even in the traditional settings, when power meets power, it's not like some of the things you see in Hollywood movies, Nollywood movies. Yeah, that's true too, but that stuff is real. Nollywood try to show you something, so those are real. You understand? Some of the things you see. But yeah, the world we live in, African leaders, because I think you know, but you have to make Africans feel that they're stupid, especially the young people. I've already distinguished between the African of the 95% and the 5%. All of you leaders with your fat, big, lazy, do nothing, sitting on your butt, come out every now and then, blame Europeans for your failed economic policies, for your failed political policies, your failed educational policies, your failed everything. You blame them. And my thing is, it's time that you stop blaming these people. Unite within Africa. You understand? Unite within your country. So, like I said, If you're in, let me tell you, Somalia, you see today, used to be a great country before the problem they have today. All they need is unity. If Somalians unite today, they'd be good. I mean, when I say unite, I mean talking about internal unity. So if Africa wants to be united, to have a one powerful voice to speak out on the global stage, it must unite. And I think that's what you need to be talking about from now all the way to 2060, whatever your visions are. Until then, you're not going to be able to do nothing. And the Sahel, they're showing you how to unite. Burkina Faso is uniting internally. Once the country unite internally, they'll be able to fend off anyone that try to attack them. So now, if they unite internally, Burkina Faso unite internally, they can come to all the African countries, say for instance Ghana, say Ghana unite internally. All the tribes in Ghana come together and have a big meeting and they say, hey, let's unite. Let's work together. All the tribes come together and say, let's unite and take our unity to the central government. Because most governments in Africa are unitary form of government. So there are few federal system in Africa, but for the most part, most of them are unitary. Come to them and say, hey, we're ready for Africa unity. We're uniting between you because we see your vision. And whatever government is in power has to have that vision too for the unification of Africa. Now, if they have that big meeting from all the tribes, which I think is impossible, but again, let me just be naive for once and say, or wishful thinking for once, and say this: if they can do that, and they come to the government and say we want to see Africa unity, like what's happening in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and I hope and pray for them to succeed. Yeah, and that's the truth again, though. Anyone here, you can be anywhere in this world and be patriotic. But at the same time, patriotism also want the best for other people too. You know, the same good that I want for America is the same good I want for Africa. It's the same good that I want for South America. It's the same good that I want for Europe too. If you watch me, I talk of Europe all the time. I want Europe to succeed. But I want them to succeed in the right way. You know, but if they go to Africa and take whatever they want there, I'm not going to blame it because I know the truth. I know Africans are responsible for what's happening to Africans, especially the leaders. They are responsible for all the things that are happening to Africa. Let me give you an example. See, my home, I run the home. I'm the head of the home. So Africa will be my home. If I don't allow anyone through my door to exploit my family, it's not going to happen. But if I'm cheap, I have no self-respect, I have no integrity, somebody is going to come to my door and do whatever they wants to do in my home. And there's nothing I can do. You understand? Because I've allowed them to. They can even mess with my wife if they want to, mess with my children if they want to. There's nothing I can do because I've compromised myself. I've become complacent. I have no integrity. I have no self-respect. So I'm going to be treated that way. But the day I should rise up and say, no, my doors are closed. You are not coming in until you can show me some level of respect and integrity. That whoever used to come in, that's it. It's closed. Now I say, if you're coming here, you got to meet me and the Second Amendment. So they know I'm dead serious now. You understand? But you've allowed these people to exploit you. And you know it because you were pocketing everything they were giving to you, all the goodies, all the opportunities for your children to go to that country and get the best of the best. Come back and then be called, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. And then you sit there and blame them. So it's wrong. And that's what I say on my channel, the truth. So yeah, if Africa wants to unite, if you ask the common sense channel, You have to do it internally, and then I can say in the next 10 years, if Africa really want to unite, and I think the youth, you're sleeping too. You need to get up. You can start a campaign locally, going to all these villages and towns, meeting these young person. You can do it. Try to unite the tribes. Explain what it means to unite as Africans in your country. If you're Nigerian, if you're Ghanaians, you're Togolese, you're Beninese, you are Central Africans, you are Togolese, you are Congolese, you are Namibians, you are South Africans, you are wherever is it you're from in Africa. Young person, young people, do that. Let this be an initiative you do. Go into these villages, explain to them what African unity will mean. Don't wait for the politician to do that. You understand? This is the thing. You have to be proactive, going out and doing this. But until then, if Africa does not unite internally with all these tribes, tribal war can't solve the problem. Tribal war can't solve it at all. Believe me when I say tribal disunity cannot solve Africans' problem or bring about Africa unification, because that's the biggest problem. They don't talk about it when they meet at that meeting in Addis Ababa. They only talk about things that they know is not durable, you know. And we're actually in the age of AI, you know. Like I used to make the argument that if Africans were not enslaved, which is sad, and for me, I'm not an emotional person, but I can see it's very emotional talking about the history of Africa, and it's like exploited by everyone, the Europeans, the Arabs, now the Chinese, you know, everyone. If Africa had been right where the Industrial Revolution was, the first Industrial Revolution, the second, the third, and where we are today, it would have been a great change for the continent. Again, but it also has to do with the mindset. I can make that argument, but looking at other events and other race of people in this day and age, I think Africa don't even need to be in the first industrial revolution to be great. They can start now. You see the Chinese? I always talk about the Chinese. When I was a little boy in school, it used to be called Indochina. I never asked the teacher why, but I read it in school. I had to take exam. And then you had to say those days you couldn't say China, you had to say Indochina on the text on the exam paper. If you didn't say Indochina, they're gonna give you partial points, or they're gonna fail you. They're gonna check that answer as fail. But there's a reason why. And even now, the Chinese they have something in China. If you go off track, they'll send you to these camps and re-educate you. You know what a re-education is? China. Everything China. And it works. You understand the thing, the logic? Africans, leaders, you understand the logic? That's what you're supposed to be doing on your free time. Don't sit in your butt. Go to these villages and try to teach them. Tell them what it would mean. And that's what Kwame Nkrumah and the rest of the other founding fathers of Africa, like Julius Nyerere did a great job with Tanzania. You know, I respect him for doing that. Nelson Mandela didn't do much of that, but I can understand why. You know, but there are great leaders in Africa that came out, but they missed that point. They could have gone to these villages and teach the people. But then you have this elite too. They'll never go away. Whenever you try to, and the elites are the ones we need to put in the re-education camp. I think all African countries should have a re-education camp. And don't force them if they don't want to go there. The elite, if the elite don't want to, well, the elite are the ones that run the country anyway, so they're going to veto everything. But I think we need to have re-education, or I want to say re-education camp. So where you can send these people, if they don't want to go to these camps, to be re-educated about what it means to be a Nigerian / Africans, or what it means to be a Togolese, yes, or Togolese unification, or Togolese coming together to unite for the sake of Africa unification. That's what this camp's supposed to be about. And if these people don't want to go there, they can leave the country. That's what China did. All those people that don't want to be part of China, this and that, bounce. That's why you have Taiwan today. There would have never been Taiwan. When China was restructuring, they lay out these conditions. And the people that were in China, they said to themselves, okay, well, we don't want what you are offering. We want to go to Taiwan. We want to go somewhere else. That's how they fled to Taiwan. And those were all Democrats. The Democratic Party of China, they're the ones that went down there. But all of that is China. China had to allow them to go there because they couldn't see themselves just wiping them out. So they said, go wherever you want to go. And they went over there. But that's still part of China. And they know it. You understand? If China wants to take it, do you think Taiwan can mount any fight with China? China can take it. But they've just been buying time because that's not who they are. But their leaders before them, those guys were ruthless, man. They'll say, look, China first. Before you will sacrifice you before China. And that's the kind of attitude Africa should have if they want to move forward to unity. But until then, you're not going to beg your way out of this. You're not going to say, please, please. No one is going to listen to you. Because like I said in my previous video, there's no such thing as a friend. Friend does not exist. The only thing that exists, my friend, are my friends, are competitors and enemies. You understand? So in Africa, you're going to have competitors. They're competing against you. If your political leader, your political party is running, the opposition is your competitor. So they're fighting against you. They're your competitor, and they could be your enemies too. So your enemies are always closer than your friend. That's why I'm saying that there's no such thing as a friend. It's your competitor. Your competitor can be working for you and against you at the same time. And you'll find this with your friends too. Your friends can be that too. Can play both roles. That's why Bob Marley said, and your best friend, your worst enemy. Some may eat and drink with you now, and behind they try to eliminate you. Only your best friend knows your secret, and only she can reveal them. And who's that guy? Faith. Let them wear it. So you understand? Your enemies are way closer to you because there's no such thing as a friend. There's your competitor and your enemy. So Africa, if you want to be united, if you want to have a voice, a powerful voice, don't allow that Italian Prime Minister Meloni is her name. She's just talking blah, blah, blah. She's a European. She benefiting from whatever is coming out of that place. Your resource, the one you sell for cheap, the one that gets for cheap. She's trying to make friends with you so she can know how you're thinking, get what you have. She's not your friend. She may sympathize with you. That's a good thing. A friend, a competitor can do the same. A competitor can be sympathetic to your plight, but at the same time getting what they want. That's what your competitors are. There's no such thing as a friend. And then your enemies can, once they get all the intel, all the necessary information, they can trap you. So you call her, she come to the AU hall, she's talking blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to that. That's all smoke. There's no fire in it. So you are backward because you're a politician, you're being bought. So the young people again, which are the 95% of Africa, you're the ones that are suffering. You want unity because what unity brings are development, innovation, creativity, growth, and change. That's what unity brings. America would have never been what it is today if it wasn't for unity. And that's why Abraham Lincoln, in my view, is the greatest president of all, next to George Washington, because they both fought for the same thing. George Washington fought for the independence of this country from colonialism and imperialism. And then Abraham Lincoln sealed the deal. Because all of the fight that George Washington put up, immense fight, great fight for justice, equality, freedom of everything for the American people. If Abraham Lincoln had not sacrificed what he did for this country, including his own life, America, and including all of the things George Washington had fought for, would have gone in vain. And it's true. You understand? So it's the same thing today. If you're afraid, you're not going to make no change in Africa. That's why we speak. We speak the truth. On my channel, I don't do, again, I keep saying it, I don't do this, I don't follow no one's trend. I get up today and I say, this is what I'm going to talk about. Even if one person watched my video, I'm cool with it. I'm cool. That message is going to be spread out. That's it. It's the message. So Africa, stop talking like wimps. I'm not Africa. The 5% elite, stop talking like wimps. You meet in Addis Ababa, you eat some nice Ethiopian dish by nice, beautiful Ethiopian women, cook some nice food, and your brain is all upset. Like Cyril Ramaphosa, he thinks he's the voice of Africa. And what's the other one? I saw another one talking again. Forgot his name. I don't pay much attention to these people anyway, because they say the same thing. I watched the video from before when they met. And it's the same thing they said. They're never going to change because they never accomplish anything. And they never will accomplish anything. Should you have any future meeting again, AU, just focus on unity. If you have to do a prayer in that hall, calling on the ancestors of Kwame Nkrumah, the ancestors of Patrice Munuba, the ancestors of Sekou Touré, the ancestors of Ofobonye, but unity now, so let's include all of them. The ancestor of Ami Cabral, the ancestor of Michel, Samora Michel, the ancestors of Nelson Mandela, the ancestors of Modibo Keita. You understand? The ancestors of Thomas Sankara, who was challenging you towards African unity, because he saw. Because if you don't unite, economic is bullshit. You understand? It's nonsense. It's nonsense talk. You're not going to grow in this world if you don't have your own currency. If you have to rely on the world all the time for your own currency. You know who learned this thing real fast? Russia. You understand? You see how they're growing economically? Because they had to shift to a different form of payment. These people are not stupid. The Almighty that created the Russian people is the same Almighty that created your mom and your dad, that birthed you into this world. The same brain they have to divert the economic status because economics is actually the brain of the country. Without money, you become a slave to others. You understand? To those people that have it, they can do whatever they want to do. They can slap you in the face, slap you in the backside, slap you everywhere on your body. What can you do? And that's what they keep doing to you Africans. Africa. Understand? So unity is what's going to bring you. You see places like Russia, you can never conquer Russia. The history has always been Russia. No country can conquer. Like the great Napoleon tried that because they're united. You cannot look, You mess with Russia, even the guy that's 97 years old going to take up arms. That's just how they are. The women are going to fight. The women don't say, in Russia, women have the same right as men. Yeah, it's in the Constitution. Yeah, because during the fight for Stalingrad, even the little kid took up arms. The women were so instrumental in protecting Stalingrad, Leningrad, all these places. They fought. There are women that died that day. You read about the Russian history. They always defended the country. You can be on this. They're never going to be chaos in Russia. You understand? Because they always think about the country. It's hard time that you, African leaders, start to put your countries, your various countries, that when they elected you to represent them on the world stage of Africa now. You should put them first. That's what we're saying. Trump has done a great job to tell you to put your country first. You may not like what Trump, most of you saying, oh, racist, oh, racist. Don't buy those people talk. These are just distraction people. You look at what he's doing with your two eyes. God has given you both eyes to see. Like Jesus said, they have ears, but they don't hear. They have eyes, but they don't see. That can't be your story. You have to use these two things. They are sensors. They are sensory reflex. God gave them to you to use them properly. And if you can use your sight and your hearing properly together with your brains, you become formidable. You're not, I mean, I sometimes I want to talk to Africa for the 95% because I feel the pain. I used to be them. I used to be there too. I know what it feels to live in Africa. I'm telling you, I used to be there. I know. You know, I grew up in a home where my mother she was, even though religion got her, but she'll educate you. She'll tell you. My mother allowed me to say things. Even when I was a little boy, she allowed me to speak my mind. She always said there's no such thing as a stupid question. But if you don't phrase your question right, she'll tell you your question is stupid. And she'll tell you, go think about it and come back and ask that question. That's how I grew up. And today when I look back, I thank God because it allows me to think. So I do my videos. So I come in here and do it because my mother told me that you should think. No one is better than you. No one is bigger than you. All human beings has the same brains to think, to be better, to innovate. Everything that we see in this world, they came out of the minds of the human being. They didn't come from nowhere. They came out of the minds of the human being because the Almighty placed them there. Everything that we need in this world to survive, to live here, the Almighty has already placed them here for us. All we need to do is tap into it. So if you're not utilizing it, you're less than a human being. It's the truth. And you are the reason African leaders, the leaders in the past, they've already done theirs. They've gone now. Every generation must take off from where their ancestors left into the future. And it seems to me that you are not ready to do that. And you're playing politics and blaming the white man, blaming the Europeans every now and then. And the generation of Africans, young people, just sitting there and say, what can we do? But I tell you this is what you can do. I have more ideas to give you, but I can't do them here. Because these people are watching. And the moment they know, they're going to start to, the day they heard that African American were trying to come to Africa, they say, no, we don't want that. They did everything. And even now, to dissuade the African American from uniting, a Black American from coming to Africa, from uniting with the continent. They intentionally, the way European travel to Africa, Black people across the globe, especially those in the diaspora, don't travel that much. You understand? But if you don't go to a distant land, you wouldn't know what the people think or how they behave or what's there. You have to go there. And that's why I'm here in this country. I came here because of someone that saw there was a diamonds in our country and they wanted it. They knew they couldn't get it if we're living in peace. So they had to start something to kick us out. There's a theory on that too. That's how war starts. Someone wants something in your country and they can't get it in peace, they'll create tension. And that tension leads to war. And now you are, they're scooping it. That's what was happening in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The groups were just coming and scooping. There has instability. They can't understand why there's instability in the country, but there is instability in the country. And they can't seem to solve it because underneath that instability, someone is profiting. And whoever is profiting is the enemy. So as I've always said on my videos, and we say again, and again, I want to welcome my new subscribers. Honor you, honor your family. Hope you, wish you the best of everything, especially in this world of disorder. I wish you the best. And also, as I've always said again, the greatest thing that could ever happen to anyone, it's not the day you're born, not the day you had your first child, the day you graduated from high school, college, the day you became a lawyer, doctor, none of that stuff. The greatest thing that could ever happen to anyone, my friends, is the day you discover yourself. That's all you need to do, discover yourself. When you discover yourself, the truth will become your gospel. The truth will become your salvation. The truth is your salvation. Whatever sets you free. And the truth, once you discover yourself now, it's not going nowhere. You will know yourself. You will be yourself. You will appreciate yourself. And you will grow to be a better human being. That's exactly what I am. I don't have no racial bone in my body for no one. I don't hate no one. Whatever American has, I want the same thing for other people. When you do business, in business is something called equity, fairness. Although in a capitalistic society, there's competition. And the competition is not new because all humans are competitors. So we bring that same nature into business. If my country sells something and I'm pricing it higher and I'm not willing to negotiate because I'm doing it in the best interest of my people, I don't have no one within side trying to malign me. I seen the kids of Africa, because you can come through the government, the legitimate government of that country. Like, for instance, Italy wants to buy certain minerals. You can come through the legitimate government. But then within that legitimate government, there's a shadow government. So if Italy don't want to go through the president, you can go through the opposition. The opposition will do everything to get them what they want, malign the government. But if the opposition and the current government are united for the people, for the benefit of the people, there's no way Italy is going to get their way, or France, whatever out there, or America. That's the case of America. Anyone want to do trade with America? Sure. If you think all that stuff Donald Trump is doing as far as trade is concerned, do you think the opposition party are against all of everything Trump stands for? He still have to let them know. Because at the end of the day, even though they're opposition, but if this country doesn't do well, it affects them too. You understand? That's the logic. It's not about, I'm going to make you look bad so I can get upper hand and then the country suffers. It's not that. This is what most of you don't know. It's about balancing the scale. You understand? So you're never going to find Trump saying terrible things about most Democrats. Even if he has issues, you're going to single out one person. But he's not going to call all of them out because, there are those in there that sees exactly what he's doing. and knows that it will benefit the American people. The only thing is we need more and more of these people that can look at America and say, America, I don't give a crap if I don't win a second term, but I'll put America first. And I tell you, anyone that thinks like that, the American people will reward you. That should be the case for Africa. African must start to think like that. And I tell you, the Africans, even though most of them are not informed on how their government runs or how politics run in the various countries, and I think it's a problem of the youth, because the youth can do that. Raise money, go into these villages and educate the people. Don't wait for a political party to come and do it. Because political party during election time, they just soup in the villages, towns, give them bag of rice, talk blah, 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 blah. See the politician come and give one or two people a hug, kiss them wherever, and that's it, they vote for him or her. That should change. So again, I just want to thank everyone for watching my video, for supporting my video, for being an integral person in this formation right here. The truth is what I talk about here. No, our world is not ready for the truth. Most people, you would think people want to know the truth, but not everyone wants to know the truth. That's why that Hollywood actor said, do you want to know the truth? You cannot handle the truth, you know. But the truth is the truth. Even if they hide it, they'll hold your video, like they're doing to most of my videos. They'll hold it back. They whatever they do, it's going to come out. And I know it. You know, I know it because I know exactly the truth, what the truth is. People don't want to hear it. Not the world don't want to hear it, but those in authority will do whatever it takes to hold back the truth. But I say hold the truth's going to come out. And like I said, each of us humans will be judged here. Even if we're dead and gone, our judgment will take place here. No matter what you do, you will be judged here. Take it from the Common Sense channel. Have a pleasant day.